What's up, YouTubers? It's Ernie, Blerd Without Fear, and we are talking about on this very day, Avengers No Surrender. Now, if you've been keeping up with my channel any at all, then you kind of already know I'm not the biggest fan of Marvel right now. Their books are so few and far between when it comes to good reads. And man, it has been a while. Like I think when I did the Secret Empire book, like I started off really excited about it, and by the time we got to the end of the videos on that one, I was just beaten and worn down and weary. I mean, I still technically enjoyed it, but it was like I didn't have that same feel for it by the time I got to the end. Well, it looks like Marvel is trying to right the ship, and it looks like, just based on what I've been reading online and talking to my local comic book shop people, it kind of sounds as though they are trying to recapture the magic of Avengers Disassembled. And this is a book that's got some heavy writing talent on it. I mean, at least in terms of Mark Waid. Mark Waid can do virtually no wrong in my eyes when it comes to his writing capabilities. But yeah, man, it's a very curious book. That's all I'll say right now. But before we jump into all that, let me know what comics you'd like to see me do a video on. Sound off in the comments. If this is your first time checking out my channel, consider clicking subscribe so you can become one of Earth's mightiest subscribers, and tap that bell button so you know when I post up. Okay, so Avengers No Surrender. Let's jump in. So when we kick this book off, we see a character that I honestly don't recollect seeing in a long time. We see a group of characters having a poker game. It sounds kind of like they're running a chop shop kind of business, but they're having a poker game. One of the guys who walks up realizes that the man they're playing poker with is none other than the Living Lightning. And the Living Lightning is a character that, yeah, I have forgotten about. I mean, I knew who he was, but just, man, that was a deep cut. Like, I remember him from back in the day, the old West Coast Avengers and, you know, all that stuff, and that's really what I know him from. But man, I had not seen him since those books were a thing. I don't think we have the West Coast Avengers anymore. I think we just have the Great Lakes Avengers, which I guess is kind of a knock on the West Coast Avengers. And technically the US Avengers, I kind of feel like they fall in that same boat. But, which is funny because they will feature in this book. But, he's an interesting character, but I just never thought much of him. And when he shows up, man, he puts the hurt on these guys and takes them out. Mostly because one of them kind of pokes fun at the fact that he's not good enough for the real Avengers. And that gets his attention, and he sets the whole thing off and takes them out. And, you know, we get to see him hanging back in the cut with his bae, and which I thought was kind of a nice touch. I actually don't remember if the character was ever actually homosexual back in the day, but, you know, hey, whatever. I mean, if he is, that's cool. I'm down for it. The thing that we see happening is there is some kind of energy spike that's going on, and it's causing all sorts of craziness to go down. Cars are flying through the air, disasters are going off one after the other, everything is breaking down, even the Sanctum Sanctorum is getting wrecked right now, and all the Avengers are on worldwide alert. Miles Morales is like going through probably one of the worst fits of Spidey sense tingling he's ever had. Black Panther, Beast, all of the major hitters in the Avengers are confused and have no idea what's going on. And at one point, the Earth and its moon just vanish right before Captain Marvel's eyes. And like, she's godsmacked by it. She's like, what the fuck? Communications are cut off. No one seems to be able to get word to anybody except for the people who are on the planet. And like I said, this is a disastrous event because things are just setting off left and right. All the Avengers are doing everything they can to try and stop this, and they are just not getting it. To the point that at one point we see Nadia, the all-new, all-different Wasp. Well, technically she's just Wasp now, but during the destruction, she's with Jarvis, and she goes off to try and save some people and help protect them from the falling debris and rubble, and Jarvis attempts to do the same when Nadia's not looking, and he pushes this young boy out of the way and is crushed by the rubble that was going to kill that child. And I mean, and the hits just keep on coming. Tidal waves are coming through, tsunamis are happening, earthquakes are going off left and right, and everybody is doing everything they can, but man, it is just, like, once again, it's still just not enough. And this is really an all-hands-on-deck situation. I mean, we see everybody coming to bat. And out of nowhere, Squirrel Girl notices that there is something falling from the sky, and initially they think it's a satellite. But as they look at it, they notice that whatever it is coming down, it changed directions, like it's steering itself. And then out of nowhere, it crashes. And about this moment that it crashes, most of the heroes across the globe, Captain America, Spider-Man, Black Panther, the Champions, the X-Men Gold Team, some of the members of the US Avengers, Vision, Janet Van Dyne Wasp, all of them freeze dead in their tracks. All of these characters are in some form of stasis, and everyone is confused as to what's about to happen. And Nadia, she's freaking out about Jarvis, even more pissed off about the fact that Rogue is prioritizing the rest of the civilians over Jarvis, which, I mean, honestly, Rogue is making the tough decision that no one else would really want to have to make, and a decision that Jarvis would understand. But Nadia doesn't want to hear any of it. I mean, she just flips out. And, you know, there's some bad blood going on, you can tell, between Rogue and Quicksilver, which I haven't been reading Uncanny Avengers or any of the other X-Men books, the current ones right now, just because they just haven't really, I don't know, they just haven't grabbed me very much lately, but you can tell there's some bad blood between them. But just when everything seems kind of dim and dark, we see a character arrive, and you can pretty much assume that it was whatever it was that we saw earlier that crash landed. You assume that, oh man, I wonder if it's, you know, Phoenix. Well, no, it can't be Phoenix because she's got her own book going on right now with Phoenix Resurrection, so, you know, it can't be that. You know, you start trying to itemize all these different characters that it could possibly be as, like, who would be that big of a deal? Because we see all these other characters, Quicksilver talking about how I don't believe it after all these years, and Scarlet Witch saying I always knew it. When we really needed you, you'd be back. And this mysterious person responds, always. After all, you know what we say, once an Avenger. It's an interesting turn because Marvel's been doing this, this isn't the first time they've done this, bringing in a character who's brand new that apparently the readers didn't know about, but the Avengers knew about. They did this with the Sentry, they did this with Blue Marvel, and now they're doing this with this particular character who goes by the name Valerie Vector, or as she prefers to be called, Voyager. Now, let's go back, rewind a little bit, because you're probably thinking, okay, so where's this character coming from? Well, let's go back to that Marvel Legacy one-shot, where they showed the statue of the original Avengers, and there was a character, a female character that was added in that we weren't incredibly familiar with. You felt like you probably should have known who she was, because I mean, I just assumed it was just an alternate appearance of the Wasp or something like that, but no, wasn't the case. This was a brand spanking new character named Voyager, and she is supposed to be one of the big guns that they are going to be able to rely on now. And the thing is, I mean, we don't really know a lot about her. I mean, there's been some wild, rampant speculation as to who she could possibly be, like if she's a character we've seen before, but I don't know, I feel like it's a character that we haven't. I feel like she's 100% new, and she's intentionally made to look kind of retro, like she would have if she were an original Avenger and hadn't been around since the Avengers came together. Like, I've heard some people say that it's possibly Kobik, or like an alternate version of Ayesha, or that it's, you know, Valeria Richards. I don't think that. I think it's just 100% a brand spanking new character. But, you know, hey, who knows? You all let me know what you think about Valerie Vector, the Voyager. And also let me know what you think about No Surrender if you've read it so far, or if you are planning to even check it out. Sound off in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, and if you want to see more awesome videos like this one, make sure you click subscribe so you can become one of Earth's mightiest subscribers, and tap that bell button so you know when I post up. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I will see you all next time. Plus Ultra.